Hey guys, it's Raquel Nylander. I hope everyone is doing well. So right now I'm currently dealing with a situation with a coworker who is constantly upset. Every time I talk to her, she has attitude. Every time I interact with her, I feel like I'm getting put down and it makes work really hard. And I was thinking about this today and it took me back to when I was in high school and middle school. I never had a solid group of friends. I knew a lot of people, but I also knew a lot of people who would say negative things towards me. And I wonder how many of you guys can relate to the situation. Friends who are not real friends, or friends who tear you down instead of build you up, or people who are just mean. So I want to talk about a story in Mark 10:46 through 52. Blind Bartimaeus receives sight. Then they came to Jericho. As Jesus and his disciples, together with a large crowd, were leaving the city, a blind man, Bartimaeus, was sitting by the roadside begging. When he heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to shout, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." Many rebuked him and told him to be quiet, but he shouted all the more, "Son of David, have mercy on me." Jesus stopped and said, "Call him." So they called to the blind man, "Cheer up, on your feet. He's calling you." Throwing his cloak aside, he jumped to his feet and came to Jesus. "What do you want me to do for you?" Jesus asked him. The blind man said, "Rabbi, I want to see." "Go," said Jesus, "your faith has healed you." Immediately he received his sight and followed Jesus along the road. So in this story, when the blind man heard that Jesus is coming, he gets excited and shouts for Jesus. But he was getting rebuked by the people around him and was told to be quiet. But Jesus turns the situation around. He stops where he is and calls the blind man towards him. Jesus shows compassion towards the blind man. With a single gesture of mercy and love, he restores the blind man's sight. He acknowledges him, he loves him, and he heals him. And just as we get taunted by people in our lives like the blind man, we find security in Jesus. He brings us back to truth. The truth that he sees us, that we hold significant value, and that he wants to restore and heal our wounds. And Jesus, by his own example, he teaches us not to be bystanders when we see others being taunted. He calls us out to embrace and show compassion to those who are being taunted. So I wanted to encourage you today to not allow others to define you, but to allow God to define you. To remember that God sees our pain, he brings healing, and we are never alone because he is with us. But also to remember to be compassionate, to show others that we see them and love them. Thank you for listening. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend.